Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Really excited to be joined by my co-host, Kathleen Bradley. How are you doing, young lady?
I'm doing well today.
Good,
Very good,
sure.
thank you.
Yeah, it's been very productive. We are delighted to be in the presence of sort of up-and-coming, film and movie royalty here with Tisha Barrett. So your reputation actually does precede yourself a little bit, but you've done quite a bit of work. Barbershop 2. I know we just had that movie, Not Another Church Movie, and now in the current film that's out, 1992. We want to know, though, especially for somebody who's on the rise like that, constantly staying busy and on your grind, where did you get started with getting bit by that acting bug and really choosing that as your profession?
Oh man, the acting bug. First of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. The acting bug bit me back in. I'm not gonna say the year.
Okay.
Oh, come on, give it up. You're young.
It's only a year ago.
You're a youngin'.
Those films the last
3 years ago when I was 15.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
You look about 19. I'd
Right.
say that.
I did a stage play in Chicago at the Regal Theater.
Sure.
And I wasn't even supposed to be in the play. They actually got me in on accident. Some guy was late and they was like, "Hey, you want to read the lines for him?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" I read the lines. They was like, "Hey, you want to take his role because he was late?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." They was like, "It's paying $200 a show, 3 shows a night." I said, "I'll take his job."
yeah, thank you.
15, that was a lot of money.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
I'm rich,
Still is
baby. Let's
today.
do it. Yeah. So I did the show, and then at the end of the show, I came out and I bowed, to do the bow. We all did our bow. And people just went crazy, and somebody brought me some flowers and stuff. I was like, yo, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So that's how I caught the bug.
Sure, absolutely. What was that first movie role and that experience of being on set?
The first real movie role, because I did a
Sure.
lot of independent movies,
Right.
about 100 of them, and I got tired of doing it. And I was like, yo, man, I don't want to keep doing these low-budget independent films. I got to do the real thing. So I moved to Hollywood and started doing a lot of commercials.
Sure.
And then a casting director in Chicago saw me for Barbershop 2. And they was like, yo, we saw you in all these commercials. We want you to audition for this movie, Barbershop 2. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where? They said in Chicago. I said, I just moved from Chicago.
Oh, right.
Now I got to fly back to Chicago to do a movie. Okay, I'm on the way.
Sure.
So anyway, so that was the first one. I went back and auditioned for Barbershop 2, and I got that role.
And just to be in the presence of Cedric and Ice Cube and all the other actors and people alone,
Yeah.
it's like sometimes we'll not work for free, but I know how excited you must have been.
I know. I was super excited. And the most important part that really helped me with that movie, because I had a small role in it, I came back to LA for the premiere, and Will Smith was at the premiere. And then afterwards, he came to the set. I was working with Jamie Foxx on a movie set, and he came to the set and he was like, yo, I was at the premiere last night. I saw you in the movie. I said, you saw me?
Right, me?
Me? He was like, yeah, man, I saw you keep doing your thing. So that was like really, really cool to add to what you just
Yes,
said. Working
always-
with all of those guys and then seeing this guy actually recognize me with a small role.
The gratification is
Yes.
really worth
Right.
the while
Sure.
sometimes, and especially being involved on that kind of level of a movie.
Yes,
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And
So
that-
what part, I didn't see it, I'm sorry, but just refresh my memory. What part did you play in that
I played the Nappy Cuts customer, the new barbershop across
right,
the street
right, the
when they were
competitor.
advertising for
Sure.
the competition against Ice Cubes in the barbershop. I was the guy that just kept popping up talking about the new barbershop.
Oh, okay.
Tell
You
the
kept
people-
popping up though, at
Yeah,
least.
telling the people why they need to come to this new
Oh,
barbershop.
gotcha. I'm going to look for that for sure.
So we went through it kind of fast, but I want to, especially for younger actors in the game, because for many of them, it's a dream come true. Walk us through sort of actually getting it and then prepping for it and just kind of some of the thoughts that were going
For
through your
barbershop
head.
too?
Mhm,
Oh
yeah.
man, I don't know if you're gonna hear that story, but I tell it.
Yeah.
That story, man, to prep for that audition was kind of crazy because they were auditioning like 4 or 5 roles. So when I saw it, I was like, yo, I fit all these roles.
Right.
I grew up on the south side of Chicago. They had a thug role. I was like, I could play a thug. I could play a nappy cuts customer. I get my hair cut every week in the barbershop. And there was like 2 other roles. I was like, I'm going in for all the roles. So I prepared for all the roles. And the first role I prepared for was the thug role.
Sure.
So I got in the gym, worked out, put on a tank top, drew some gang tattoos on me, put a do-rag on, put the teardrops here,
You were ready.
and I sagged my pants, and I walked into the audition room looking like a gangster. And then the casting director, Sharon King, she looked at me and she said, sir, you have to go home. I said, excuse me? She's like, we're not auditioning real thugs.
No, you did
She's
not.
like, we're not
That's
auditioning
good.
real thugs. We're looking for actors. I was like, no, I'm an actor. She's like, no, please just leave. I said, no, I'm real. This is fake. I'm an actor. So I walked up to her desk and I licked my finger and wiped the tattoo off. And she was like, oh my goodness. Like, you got me. I thought you was like, I said, yeah, I'm in character.
Well, my God.
Right.
She was like, oh, okay, well, let's see it. So then I did all the roles for her.
That's
And they called me back and was like, yo, we're going to give you this role. They said, we actually cutting the thug role out. So
Oh,
we would have gave it out when you did a great thug role.
I love
So
that.
we're going to give you the nappy cuts role.
So what was that process of just
funny.
sort of even being in there and sort of doing those auditions and trying to switch up the personalities and whatnot?
Right. That's like I was saying, the process was basically preparing for each role and then getting in there and doing each one. It's like you have to like hone in on your craft and become a different person. So the process was once you do the thug role, I asked them to cut, take off all the stuff and take 2 minutes to prepare for the other role. So you have to really become these characters. And I think that's where a lot of actors go wrong. So if I could tell any actor when you're preparing to actually become the role, don't be an actor. Don't be acting. Become what the character is. Do your research on the character. Find out where he comes from, what he likes to eat, how does he dress, who his parents are. Create all that, even if it doesn't exist, and then become that character.
To what extent do you sense that a lot of those smaller films that you had done, even though, like I said, you'd done it for quite a bit, really kind of prepped you every step of the way for that key type moment? Because it's not something maybe everybody could have stepped into.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they prepped me for.
So another big movie in terms of the cast that we were talking about when we first started connecting up, not another church movie. So here you're working with big names. You just happen to mention Jamie Foxx, and he just happened to be in that film. So talk to us about how that audition came about and how you just happened to be working on a movie with Jamie Foxx.
Okay. Well, the guy who wrote it, Jamie Foxx's writer, Johnny Mac. He writes for Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart, and a lot of different people. So when he first wrote the movie, he let me read it, and I was like, "Yo, this is pretty cool. Like, I like to be in it." So he's like, "All right, well, let's see what you do." So I went in and auditioned for it, and I read again 3 or 4 roles. So I think I'm good for all these roles. And then now
Jamie's role.
Right? Nah, I don't want to do Jamie's role. He's good. So
just in case.
Right, just in case. So they gave me 2 roles out of the 4 that I auditioned for. They were going to give me 3, but they gave me 2. I played a guy named Tallahassee, and I played a guy named Darnell. So that's how I got that role. And Jamie Foxx just happened to be in it because the guy who writes for him wrote the movie. So he asked Jamie to be in it, and he said, yeah. So Jamie's in it. Vivica Fox is in it. Tisha Campbell, Kyla Pratt from Proud Family. Who else is in it? Kevin Daniels. He plays Tyler Perry or Taylor Ferry in this movie. It's a Tyler Perry spoof.
When is it due out?
It came out in theaters last month.
Now did not another church movie?
Not another church movie.
Trying to think if I saw a trailer.
Now it's on Hulu and Apple.
Oh, okay. So it just went straight to Hulu. It didn't go.
No, it went to theaters first.
It did go to theaters
for about 4 weeks, and then it just went to Apple and Hulu.
Must have seen.
And now another follow-up with another Tyrese Gibson, another big movie. Talk to us about how that process came about, because it sounds like they were back-to-back for the filming. Yeah,
they actually were back-to-back. Not another church movie. We filmed that, and then we went to Bulgaria in 1992. 1992 came about with Tyrese. They came to Tyrese. They wanted him to star in it. And Tyrese and I are also producing partners, so I produce films as well. So when they came to him to be in the movie, they attached me to be one of the producers of the movie. And then we just filmed and focused on him and him doing a great job because he's the lead. It's Tyrese Gibson. It's Ray Liotta's last movie. Right. And Scott Eastwood are the 3 stars of the movie, Clint Eastwood's son. So then once we focused on him and got him out of the way and the whole movie out of the way, the director was like, hey, look, we got one more role that's not cast. We want you to play this part. I was like, hey, let's do it. So then I went back in and filmed and did my part in it.
Sure.
So you actually went to Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
What a great experience that
out
was.
There for
it's great being on location, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is indeed.
Being from the south side of Chicago, I've never really been anywhere.
Right.
Sure. California is the first place I've been.
Yeah. How did you feel about it? The experience there?
Being in Bulgaria? It was different.
It's different.
They had great food. Yeah. So I like it. It's good to be somewhere different. So I felt good about being somewhere different.
And they recognize you people. I mean, black people. I mean, you people, but being there as people of color.
You can say you people.
Yeah, I know. I can say that.
Much more
I
respect.
felt kind of bigoted myself saying that.
Right. It feels weird, right?
Yeah, being there, and since there are not many people of a different color there, and I know the people from Bulgaria probably had open arms for you, especially crew and cast and everybody coming over there from America.
Yeah, a little too open. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, like the women
Trying to
were
set
like,
you up with
I was
somebody.
gonna say,
they were attacking. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
yeah,
I'm
like
not the star Tyrese. It's like, yeah, well, we want you too. I was like,
hello, like you to the nightclub, come see me, bring your dollar.
yeah, but it was fun. Yeah.
Don't leave. Talk to us about what the movie's about and the premise, and just even how you got into sort of crossing over from this acting to obviously producing role.
Yeah, so basically it's a heist movie with the backdrops of the 1992 riots while the riots are taking place.
It was. Now, you're in Bulgaria filming a 1992 rioting Los Angeles and everywhere else movie. What did that have to do with the riots and why you shot there?
Right. That's a great question. It really had nothing to do with the riots, but because there are two different sides of the movie. You have Tyrese Gibson and his family from Watson, L.A., and then you have the other family, the Ray Liotta and his children, Scott Eastwood. So there's two different worlds. And the budget of the movie was a lot, so expensive. So in movie making, sometimes you look for ways to make it, cut costs. So some of the scenes we were able to go out and shoot in Bulgaria when it came to shooting Scott Eastwood and them characters. But when it came to shooting the core of the 1992 and the riots, we went right into on Crenshaw, right where the riots happened, and reenacted and shot and got the feel of what actually happened back in 1992. So you really feel like you are there. So that really was shot there.
Okay, so it was like Ray's family side, a different way over on the other side of the world, and what was going on our side of the world, and they basically had nothing to do with each other except for maybe it's kind of that period of time that certain things are so different. Are you getting it?
No, they actually had, I don't want to give the movie
I know
away.
you're not, but I'm curious now. I guess I'm going to have to see it.
They actually had nothing to do with each other, and they actually just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay. All right, I won't ask anymore. I shall see it.
And that's when the action kicks off.
Very good. Good.
And I want to tease out this word because sometimes people hear it, but I know sometimes when they're watching, especially younger actors, they may not really know what a producer is. Something as basic as that. Talk to us about sort of prepping for that type of role and some of the responsibilities that you had beyond just prepping for, being able to be in the film.
Gotcha. Well, it starts off with making sure there's a good script. So when you're producing the script, when it comes in, if the script is just okay, then you know that you can help put all the parts together to make it great. Whether it's helping rewrite the dialogue, whether it's helping cast and get the right people to fit the right characters, changing character names, anything that makes the script better is producing. So all of the producers come together collectively to make the script a great script. So that's where I came in as one of the producers.
Sure. What are the things about that process that you enjoy and you feel like, at least maybe you can speak to this case, you were able to implement?
What did I enjoy about it?
Yeah.
And what was I able to implement?
Yeah.
What I enjoy about it is the collectiveness of everybody working together. What I implemented, we'll be here for 2 days. I'll tell you everything I had to do for this film. But one of the things was getting Tyrese to say yes. The script, which no downplay to the writer. The script was good, but it needed a lot of work. And it needed work when it came to African Americans. So the guy who wrote it, he wasn't African American.
Right. I already know that.
So I had a lot of play into what, rewrites and what happens with the character as an African American standpoint. So, yeah.
What do you feel that role kind of brings out of you in terms of being able to elevate not only your game, but sort of really drawing, as I was hinting at before, from all those years of experience?
What does what role bring out of me?
Being a producer.
Oh, bringing a producer role?
Like you said, it's a big deal. It's a big budget. These are big names.
Yeah.
I'm Tyrese as well as Ray, very well known, Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah, it brings another level of confidence out of me as an actor to be able to produce a film and be on the back end of the camera, on the other side of the camera, then it shows you the things that you don't see as an actor. So when you are actually one of those people, then when you come on camera as an actor, it's like, hey, I already know what's happening back there.
Right.
So I got this part already together. So that's one of the things that's solid for me.
Absolutely.
What do you have coming up that we might look forward to aside from that? Or do you have things in the mix, and you have scripts and different things?
Yeah, we have a lot of things.
Financing, and how do you go about doing something like that for people out here that might want to have a script or get a script to somebody? But you're already pretty well connected, so I think you have the heads up. But so many artists or people are shopping scripts all the time. I know they call me, you know anybody has money? Need some money. Everybody in LA has a great script, but
Right.
no money.
Everybody, yeah, that's it. It's basically different for everybody. I would just say keep going and just keep trying different avenues, because every avenue can be the best avenue. So everything's different. So I would suggest or give advice for people to go to banks. Banks actually lend money, and they'll tell you exactly what you need. I haven't gotten any money from the bank yet, but I've been talking to them.
Yeah.
And then some people, will just give you the money depending on who they are and how much money they have. So it's just always different. And if you get an agent, I think a lot of writers should go after a literary agent, because once you get a literary agent, then they can actually shop your script to these different venues that can give you the money.
Because I've known a few people who've gotten some deals just from like a synopsis and having the money come later and giving them, but it's a real strong story. But a lot of times, even just writing or having the knack to want to write a script, you need to give them, and they want to see what the budget is, but below the line, above the line, and everything, and all that really comes into play. And that's kind of difficult sometimes for people to collect and do. So they need to kind of know what steps really are necessary. It's more than just to shop a script sometimes, and you got to have all that ready. They want to see it. They want to know it. People don't have time to waste. You're giving me a script, and it's for how much? $5 million. How do you equate that?
Right.
Where does that come from?
Right. But like you said, everybody's different. And like I said, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Some people can sell it with a synopsis.
Right.
Some people, you have to write down everything as far as what it's going to take to make this movie. So it's harder in some situations and it's easy in some situations. So there's really no one right answer. The only answer I would give is to keep trying.
That's
You
true.
go for it. And some people want to see, if they actually give all of this, they want to see if you're willing to do all of this work, because they know how much work it is to do a movie. So if you can't give them everything they're asking for on this checklist, then how are you going to produce a movie if we give you this money?
Right. That's true too. Yeah.
Some people
have to
back
know
off.
that.
Yeah, some people back off and they see that list and like, I'm not doing all this to
It's
get
a lot.
$5 million.
Right.
But the guy who's giving me the $5 million is like, well, why should I give you $5 million if you can't give me all of this?
That's true.
Speaking of which, what things are you looking forward to just in terms of your career? Maybe not a specific project, but sort of what do you see as maybe even that next step in a general sense?
In a general sense?
Yeah. I want to write my own stuff. I want to produce my own things completely.
Yes. You took the words right out of my mouth. I've been writing my own stuff for years. So eventually when the time is right, I'm going to put my own stuff out and cast my friends and who are stars that have been in movies with me.
Sure.
That's going to be my ultimate thing, to actually cast them in something that I wrote and we all work together and do something that I actually created.
Sure.
Collectively, that works well.
And then last, what challenges have you, maybe just one that you feel like you've overcome or that you sense exists, and how you approach it? Because it's very easy sometimes for people, despite being on a meteoric rise and work with some phenomenal actors or having funding sources, to sometimes hit roadblocks.
That would be the first one, which was getting in the union. To become a SAG member is a challenge, and you can do all these independent movies and do all this theater and stuff, and you still can't get in the union. So that's a challenge that you have to overcome. And in order to overcome it, you have to be willing to do stuff that you don't want to do, which is as far as like small roles. When I say do stuff you don't want to do, a lot of actors don't want to do small roles. Oh, it's just a one-liner. Oh, it's just an extra role. And you don't get to speak. But I did all of that. I was an extra, collecting my vouchers, because you have to get vouchers in order to get to be SAG, unless you just do a SAG job. And most of us, that's why it's a challenge. I'm glad you asked that question. So any actor that's out there that want to get in a union, be willing to be an extra. Be willing to be on camera and sit there all day before you're on camera and not talk. You sit there for 12 hours. So it's a lot of work. But once you get there and you become a union actor, then you feel like, okay, now I'm accomplished. I'm a real actor. And then you start getting real opportunities.
Sure, absolutely. Where can we find you and more about you?
Where can you find me? On Instagram, at Tisha Barrett. I'm not really on there, so I don't even have a lot of followers. I don't really do social media. They're going to have somebody start doing it for me.
So you can
I just want to focus on the creative.
Sure, I love it.
So, but you can find what I'm doing on social media on Instagram. The movie 1992 comes out August 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Not Another Church movie is in theaters. Well, not in theaters anymore. That was last week. It's on Hulu and Apple now.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate the process and your patience with us and things like that, and being willing to literally go out of your way to come spend some time with us. And really I feel like what you did was to give us insight into sort of today, current, real time, what it takes, not only the work and the preparation you put in, but the dedication, tenacity to still trying to stay on your grind to get to these larger goals of doing your own work. It's not an overnight.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Been at it. I'm going to keep at it. And thank you all for having me.
Sure.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
A pleasure.